I'm Earl Stewart. I welcome you to Earl Stewart on Cars Mystery Shopping Report. Okay, we are now at Cumberland Kia. Speaking in the first person as if I were Agent Lightning. I arrived just before 9 a.m., was greeted by a sweet salesperson named Lisette. She welcomed me warmly, asked, "What brings you to Cookeville?" I replied, "My husband and I are looking to move up here part-time to be closer to our son. And we want a car here." We drove our current car up and planned to leave it here, then drive the new one back home. She asked if I planned on buying today, noting that my boss wants to sell cars since it's the end of the month. So you picked a great time to come in. I hate to say this, but that salesperson is entirely correct. The end of the month is one of these things that sounds like a come on, but the fact of the matter is, it's sadly because it's a pandemonium at the end of the month in a car dealership. It is a good time to buy a car if you're prepared and if you know what you're talking about. It's a good time to be taken advantage of if you don't, but it's pandemonium on the 30th or 31st or the 1st or the 2nd, for that matter, because car dealers carry over the end of the month into the following month for a day or two. She then asked, "Which vehicle do you have your eyes on?" I told her, "I really like Tellurides, but I haven't bought one yet because everything is still so expensive down by me in South Florida." Lisette suggested, "Let's take a walk. We'll go outside so you can see what we have available. Then we can go for a test drive." I smiled, said, "I like how you think." I decided on a new 2025 Kia Telluride EX. It's a V6 all-wheel drive in everlasting silver. The MSRP was $46,490. The addendum next to the Maroni label only added carpeted floor mats. Only carpeted floor mats, huh? Lisette pointed to the window sticker, mentioning an option for carpeted floor mats at an additional $225. She quietly added, "I'm a very honest person, and I could probably get in trouble for telling you this. But you can ask them to remove the mats from the sale and simply order the all-weather ones from Amazon, cheaper." Interesting thing is the mindset of the salesperson, and I believe it's genuine. It doesn't have to be not to her benefit. I think she was benefiting herself because we train all salespeople in the car business. We are car dealers. And this is true in any kind of sales, whether it's insurance or dog food or whatever you're selling. You've got to get the trust of the customer. And what greater way to win the trust of the customer than to tell them something that they perceive to be, "Hey, she could get in trouble for doing this. She only told me this because she likes me and she's trying to get a good price. She might get fired for saying that." So not only was it true, but it was a fantastic sales technique, in my opinion. We took the car for a test drive, and she explained its features thoroughly. After parking in the same spot, we headed inside so she could provide some numbers. She asked for my photo ID, entered my information into their system, and excused herself to speak with her manager. About 5 minutes later, she returned with several sheets of paper clipped together, explaining, "My manager wants me to show you how other dealerships mark up their inventory, but we don't do that here." That's smart. In fact, we could do this, and we should do this in our dealership, because we know that 99.9% of the shoppers are going to buy a car somewhere else. So you don't close that many people. And so if you know they're going to go to your competition and you are heading above your competition in price, integrity, reputation, then let them find out. Give them concrete evidence. In this case here, she had pictures of some of the charges, extra charges their competition was showing their customers. There were photos of the addendum from their competitors. It was their own little wall of shame. Wow. Very smart. She continued, "My manager said we only have about $2,500 room in the price. Out the door, this car will be around $50,000 today. She had it today. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but today. I asked, do you have a breakdown of what would the outdoor price be? Lisette responded, we usually don't provide that until financing. Another token of truth there, very true. You don't know how much you've been hosed until you get out of the box. Well, we usually don't provide that until financing, but let me see what I can do. She stepped away again for another 5 minutes. When she returned, she explained, my manager is working on figuring out taxes and everything. Where do you plan on registering the car? I replied, Florida, until we have a permanent address here, unless your manager thinks otherwise. She thanked me and went back to confirm. A few minutes later, Billy, the sales manager, came over and introduced himself. He explained, for out-of-state purchases, if you pay cash, we hand the vehicle over and you handle the registration. If financing, we'll issue a temporary 60-day plate, and you sort out registration once you return home. Billy excused himself briefly to print some pages, adding, I just wanted to be ensure we're all on the same page. About 5 minutes later, Billy returned with the paperwork. He thanked me for visiting and asked if I had any additional questions. He noted, if you use financing other than Kia, the price would increase by $1,000. So if there was any doubt in your mind that car dealers make money in the financing, that tells you the story right there. It's over $1,000, and the average profit made by dealers in the finance office is about $2,000. They took $2,000 off the MSRP, $46,490, and then added $649 processing fee. That's a junk fee. Everything else was legit. Out the door, I was at $48,022. I asked, is this the best price? Billy candidly replied, I don't want to lose your business over a few $100s, but that's honestly the best I can do. I thanked both Billy and Lisette, and I left. And there you have it. And we'll have votes coming in from Nancy and Rick and Stu and me.
They get a C- from me. That's my grade.
I kind of agree with Stu. I'm going to call it a C because I think they were just kind of average.
Nancy?
I give Cumberland Kia of Cottonville, Tennessee, a D.
Earl, what's your grade?
My grade is going to be a C+. I made it a C+ because of Lisette. The thing to be learned from the shopping report is there are salespeople that work for very, very bad dealers that are honest people. And somehow they exist. I think monetarily they're motivated because of what we car dealers call the floor traffic. And if you go to a dealership that is advertises heavily, has a very popular brand of car, more people come in. Now, if they're lucky enough to get you, and this is who I'm talking about, a good salesperson, people like Lisette treat you with courtesy and respect, first of all, and they, as an individual, will be honest with you. They can't control the policy of the store, but at least you have something. And there are people like that around dealerships everywhere, if you can find them. The question is, how do you find them? Hi, this is Earl Stewart. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to be notified of new videos that we post to our YouTube channel, simply click on the subscribe button and the bell icon in the lower right-hand side of the screen.